I want you to picture two apartments, same city, same neighborhood, similar rent. The first belongs to someone earning $135,000 a year. Walk inside and you'll find a leased German sedan in the garage, a closet packed with designer pieces, a living room that's been redecorated twice in 3 years, and a smartphone that gets upgraded the moment a new model drops. This person checks their bank account with a knot in their stomach. They carry a rotating $8,000 credit card balance. 2 missed paychecks from crisis. The second belongs to someone earning $85,000. Walk inside and you'll notice space. A reliable used car. A modest wardrobe. No streaming subscriptions they've forgotten about. A calm relationship with money. This person has a growing investment account and sleeps like a baby. Same city. One earns $50,000 less per year, and one is dramatically more financially secure. This isn't a story about income. It's a story about what most people never learn. That financial stability has almost nothing to do with how much money you make, and almost everything to do with how much of it gets to stay. Let's start with the numbers that prove this is happening everywhere. As of 2026, the U.S. personal savings rate sits at just 4.0%. Americans owe a record $1.28 trillion in credit card debt. The average household carrying a balance owes nearly $7,900. And here's the statistic that should stop you cold. According to a 2026 Goldman Sachs survey, 41% of American households earning between $300,000 and $500,000 live paycheck to paycheck. That's higher than the paycheck-to-paycheck rate for households earning between $50,000 and $100,000. Read that again. Earning $500,000 a year does not solve the problem. Because the problem was never the income. Meanwhile, the goalposts keep moving. Americans now say they need a net worth of $839,000 just to feel financially comfortable, and $2.3 million to feel wealthy. The median new U.S. home has grown to 2,286 square feet. That's a 150% jump since 1980, even though household sizes have actually shrunk. And 54.9% of consumers pay for subscriptions they've completely forgotten about. Here's what ties all of this together. 37% of American adults can't cover a $400 emergency with cash. 53% can't cover a $1,000 one. This isn't a problem at the bottom of the income ladder. It runs all the way up. People buying the BMW are also the people who can't handle a flat tire without going into debt. There's a name for this. It's called the high consumption trap. And escaping it doesn't require earning more. It requires 10 specific rules. Rule 1. Everything you own costs money twice. Call it the second cost. The first cost is the price tag. The second cost is storage, maintenance, insurance, mental energy, and every dollar that can't be invested because it's tied up in the thing. A $30,000 recreational boat doesn't cost $30,000. It costs about $3,000 a year in upkeep, mooring, and insurance. That's $250 a month. Invested at 8% over 20 years, that maintenance alone becomes $147,000 in lost wealth, separate from the depreciation of the boat itself. You aren't just buying a boat, you're buying a $147,000 obligation. Rule 2. Calculate cost per use before you buy. A $1,200 stationary bike used 400 times costs $3 per ride. A $50 monthly gym membership used twice a month costs $25 per visit. The expensive purchase is sometimes the cheap choice. And the cheap purchase is sometimes financial vandalism. Harvard Business School research on payment depreciation shows that when costs are hidden in subscriptions, people keep paying and stop using. Cost per use drags the truth back into the light. A $150 monthly gym membership used twice a month, invested instead, becomes $142,654 over 25 years. That's not a gym. That's a paid-off house. Rule 3. Apply the replacement test to everything you already own. Walk through your home. Look at everything. Ask one question. If this disappeared today, would I spend money to replace it? Be honest. Would you rebuy the bread maker? The dusty guitar? The exercise equipment that hangs clothes most days? For most things, the answer is no. You wouldn't replace them. They exist in your life through inertia, not intention. Kahneman, Knecht, and Thaler named this the endowment effect. Humans assign irrational value to objects simply because they own them. You'd never pay $600 for that guitar today, but you refuse to sell it for $300. That gap is pure psychology, pure dead weight. $5,000 worth of unused stuff, liquidated and invested for 25 years at 8%, becomes $34,242. That's not a closet of old hobbies. That's a full year of retirement living expenses. Rule 4. Never upgrade an item that still works. There's a brutal piece of research by Sonia Lubomirsky. When humans get a major upgrade, new car, new phone, new house, the happiness boost dissipates within 3 to 6 months. You return completely to your baseline. The upgrade never changed anything. You just spent money to rent a temporary feeling. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You run harder and harder to stay in exactly the same emotional place. Meanwhile, upgrading your phone every year for $750 in annual trade-in cost, instead of keeping it 4 years, compounds to $59,440 over 25 years. That's not a phone habit. That's a new luxury car, paid in cash, purchased with money you gave away for a 6-month dopamine hit that happened 25 times in a row. Rule 5. Create friction for spending. Create ease for saving. Willpower is a finite resource. Roy Baumeister's research on decision fatigue proves that your self-control physically depletes throughout the day. By 9 p.m., you don't have the mental fuel to resist a one-click checkout. You were designed to fail at that moment. So don't rely on willpower. Rely on architecture. Delete stored credit card numbers from every browser. Remove shopping apps from your phone. Unsubscribe from every promotional email. Make saving automatic on payday before you see the money. Make spending require effort before you authorize any of it. Engineering $300 a month out of impulse purchases and into investments adds up to $285,308 over 25 years at 8%. You didn't save that money through discipline. You saved it by making your environment do the work your willpower couldn't. Rule 6. Count your possessions regularly. It sounds obsessive. It's not. Counting forces awareness. Awareness prevents accumulation. How many shirts do you own? Most people guess low and discover they have 3 or 4 times what they estimated. Once you know you own 47 shirts, buying another feels different. You're not adding a shirt. You're bringing your collection to 48. The absurdity becomes visible. Clinical research has linked high volumes of household possessions to elevated cortisol and reduced executive function. Your stuff is literally stressing you out. Meanwhile, $150 a month wasted on duplicate tools, forgotten groceries, and expired supplies compounds to $88,353 over 20 years. That's not a messy pantry. That's a luxury kitchen renovation. Rule 7. Rent or borrow before you buy. Most big-ticket enthusiasm dies within 3 months. Wilson and Gilbert at Harvard call this the impact bias. Humans are terrible at predicting how long we'll actually enjoy something. We always overestimate. Want to try camping? Rent gear for 3 trips. Want to get into photography? Borrow a camera for a month. Want a motorcycle? Take lessons on a rental first. Most interests evaporate once you meet the reality instead of the fantasy. A $40,000 camper trailer used twice a year, plus $300 a month to store and maintain it, costs $363,000 in lost wealth over 20 years. That's not a family camping hobby. That's a fully paid off, income-producing rental property. Gone. In exchange for 4 weekends a year. Rule 8. Understand the lifestyle multiplier. Call it the Diderot effect, named after the 18th century philosopher who received a fancy new robe and suddenly found every other item in his study looked shabby by comparison. He spent himself into debt, replacing everything. Every major purchase triggers a cascade. Buy a bigger house and you need more furniture. Buy nicer furniture, and suddenly the rug looks wrong. Replace the rug and the paint looks dated. A $1,000 sofa becomes a $5,000 room renovation. The biggest version of this trap is housing. Upgrading to a home that costs an additional $1,650 per month, factoring in a 25-year horizon at 8%, costs $1,569,192 in lost retirement wealth. That house upgrade doesn't cost you a bigger mortgage. It costs you $1.5 million you'll never see. Rule 9. Define enough before your income makes excess possible. This might be the most important rule in this whole video. Research by Dalton, Gosal, and Mani shows that when people don't set a hard ceiling on what enough looks like, their aspirations automatically scale with their income. They never feel satisfied because they never defined satisfaction. The high earner making $500,000 doesn't feel rich because their target is now $1 million. When they hit $1 million, the target moves to 5. When they hit 5, the target becomes 10. The gap between achievement and aspiration never closes. The only escape is naming the finish line in advance. What home is enough? What car is enough? What wardrobe is enough? Write it down, live it, and automate everything above that threshold into investments. A $1,000 monthly raise, captured and invested instead of absorbed into lifestyle, compounds to $589,020 over 20 years at 8%. That raise isn't extra comfort. That raise is early retirement. If you let it live in your paycheck, you already spent it. If you make it invisible on day 1, it becomes freedom. Rule 10. Measure wealth by optionality, not accumulation. Here's the most important reframe you'll hear today. The wealthy person isn't the one with the luxury car in the driveway. The wealthy person is the one who can quit a toxic job tomorrow, who can take 6 months off to care for a sick parent, who can move cities for love, who can say no to opportunities that pay well but compromise their values. That's optionality. And it's the only definition of wealth that actually matters. Research from Princeton and Harvard Business School shows that true life satisfaction comes from autonomy and schedule control, not from the accumulation of luxury goods. Cash in a diversified portfolio buys you options. A luxury car in your driveway buys you a monthly payment. Now let me show you what this looks like over a lifetime. I want you to meet 2 people, Person A and Person B. Both start with $0 at age 25. Both invest at 7% real returns. Person A earns $85,000 a year. They live modestly, drive a used car, audit their subscriptions, and save 20% of their gross income. That's $17,000 invested per year. Person B earns $135,000 a year. $50,000 more. They live in a luxury building, lease a new German car every 3 years, and succumb to every lifestyle upgrade. They save 3%, $4,050 per year, and carry a rotating $8,000 credit card balance that drags on everything they try to build. At age 35, Person A has $234,872. Person B has $47,954. At age 45, Person A has $696,915. Person B has $158,029. At age 55, Person A has $1,605,820. Person B has $374,563. At age 65, Person A has $3,393,795. Person B has $800,521. Person B earned $2 million more over their career and finished with $2.59 million less. Here's what's most painful about that gap. During those 40 years, Person B didn't actually enjoy their life more than Person A. The research on hedonic adaptation proves it. The least luxury car felt thrilling for a few months, then became just a car. The bigger apartment felt spacious for a season, then became normal. Person B traded $2.59 million in final wealth for a series of temporary feelings that all faded inside 6 months. And this is the thing that nobody tells you. Every major purchase is just a down payment on the lifestyle required to maintain it. The luxury car needs premium gas, premium insurance, premium service. The bigger house needs bigger furniture, higher utilities, more maintenance. The wardrobe needs updating every season. You don't own these things. They own your time. They own your future. This is why real wealth doesn't look like wealth. A 2024 Ramsey Solutions study of actual millionaires found that 94% consistently live on less than they make. 93% still use coupons. They don't drive the cars on the billboards. They don't wear the logos on the billboards. They quietly did the boring thing for long enough that compounding made them free. Meanwhile, in 2024, the global personal luxury goods market contracted for the first time in 15 years. Bain & Company reports that the ultra-wealthy are actively moving away from visible status symbols and toward invisible wealth. They already figured out that nobody worth impressing is watching. Here's what to do depending on where you are right now. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, you have the most powerful asset anyone can have: time. Every dollar you save and invest now has 3 or 4 decades to compound. Your only real job is to lock in these rules before lifestyle inflation has a chance to catch you. The 25-year-old who automates $500 a month into index funds and never upgrades out of boredom is already winning a race. Most people don't know they're running. If you're in your 40s or 50s and recognizing yourself in Person B's story, you still have time. Not as much, but enough. Every rule you adopt now matters more, not less, because you have fewer years of compounding ahead. Consider radical moves your peers won't. Downsize the house, sell the second car, cancel the club membership. The discomfort of 10 years of frugality is nothing compared to the stress of 30 years of constrained retirement. If you're past 60 with inadequate savings, focus on what you can still control. Delay Social Security if you can, to maximize benefits. Downsize aggressively to release home equity. Pick up part-time work you actually enjoy. The math still works, it's just tighter. Here's what to do tonight, regardless of your age. Open your bank statement. Open your credit card statement. Go through every recurring charge. Cancel anything you forgot you were paying for. That alone recovers the average American about $200 a year, and for many people, much more. Then pick one of the 10 rules. Just one. Apply it for 30 days. Delete the shopping apps. Or do the replacement test on one closet. Or rent something you were about to buy. The mistake people make is trying to overhaul everything at once and giving up in a week. Pick one lever. Pull it for a month. See what it does. Real wealth isn't about what you show. It's about what you've built. The freedom to make choices without financial pressure. The security of knowing you can handle whatever comes next. The compound growth happening quietly in accounts nobody else sees. Fake wealth is a performance that gets more expensive every year. The luxury car needs maintaining. The designer wardrobe needs updating. The bigger house needs filling. Every month, more money flows toward maintaining an image, while nothing flows toward building substance. Gross income is a vanity metric. Retained capital is a sanity metric. You don't own your things. Your things own your time. The trap doesn't care how much you make. It only cares how much you keep. Choose carefully.